Hello, my name is Michael Fleming, and currently have a software and app development company that's embedded into our knowledge management company. And so I'm getting ready to walk you through our operations and organizational software and application that we have designed for a government agency in Memphis, Tennessee. And so this software can be used to do more than just HR assistance and operations, and it actually can be used for project management and a variety of different things. So, and it doesn't actually take long to go through this, and the actual application that we ended up designing for the particular government entity, it took us less than a few clicks. I can go through their entire org chart. So we've made their org chart very dynamic. There are similar tools that are out there, but they don't go as far as our tools do. But in the few clicks that I'm going to click on here in a few minutes to show you what this operation software looks like, it took that organization almost 2 weeks to compile the information for something that we can do in just a few clicks. So I'm going to show you here our system, and I'm going to move through it fairly quick. And so obviously we built this for Shelby County property assessors. And so the way the system is set up is just have a simply entry control panel. And so this is our hosted pilot feature of it. They're installing it behind their firewall, so I won't be able to show you what that version of it looks like. So I will take you through it here. And so this is how this works. So what you do is within the system, let me make sure we are within the system. What you do is you simply log in. Let me make sure I want to sign in. So we had an admin username, password, and so you log into the system. Okay, it's loading here. It's going to load, and so we took their HR organizational chart, and so we turned it into a dynamic system to be able to navigate quickly through their personnel. So the charge that we were given and the challenge that we were given is to be able to access information quickly about each employee that they have. They have over 120 plus employees, and we met with the leadership staff and leadership team for the assessor's office. And so to give you an example of how this worked out, we were there actually to pitch some additional software, and this was part of the package of what we were sharing. And so they were just as interested in this, and they're looking forward to. We've formally been told that they were interested in some of the other software, but this is the first software installed that we have for them. And so it looks pretty innocent for the most part, but I'll show you here quickly how the system works out. So this is the primary leadership of the organization. Mr. Burgess, of course, as the assessor, and then Mr. Bailey as the chief administrating officer. And so again, they were trying to figure out how can they access information on employees quickly, because typically if there's like a some particular dispute or conflict in the organization, they have to go through HR and various departments to collect information. They've got some legacy systems that they have to try to pull and extract information out of. And so we were able to build this database for them in MySQL, and there's some PHP things that are running behind it as well too. And so the way this works out is you simply just have to click on a person's profile, and just in one click there are some different attributes of information. Now the attributes are what they asked for. The information is just some temporary information that I installed in, so the information is not valid. They're going to update their database on their side of the house. But for the most part, who the person was, their job title, what department, their start date, their salary, equipment, tags, training, goals, skills, all those things were put in as the tags, and you can quickly see that information in just one click. And again, keep in mind, it took them 2 weeks to get the information for us together on the individual employees and some of this background information as well. And so that, as simple as that is, that we can go through each employee obviously and kind of see their profile. These are the ones I had pictures for. Mr. Bailey, of course. I can do the same thing for Mrs. Rice. Didn't have a particular picture for her, but we can put information in there. And Miss Phillips. But even more dynamic than that, we can move through the entire org chart fairly quickly. And see, so the idea of being able to see who reports to who works on each other's behalf. And at some point, we're going to add specifics about projects and different components of what that person may be working on. And see, so here we can do it here, and we also can click here on full screen. So it's going to go into the full screen view here. And so, and obviously you can do some reducing down to kind of go through and see the entire org chart. I know it kind of zooms out, but try to get a sense of what that org chart is. And so this is our first install for them. And so, but they can move through it quick to see what employees are. So if they just wanted to toggle through the org chart and find someone, there's a way to do it. But instead, you can, let me get out a full screen view here. And then also we had to incorporate an additional print feature here as well. And so we built that into the system. Let me go back up, and we're going to toggle back into the system, pull everything over. And see from here, if you didn't want to have to toggle completely through, what you can do, you can come over to where it says search. Let me zoom in a little bit more, put that back up, and you can click on search here. And every time I do this, I try to put in a new name. So let me try to think of, let's say a John. Okay, so as I put in John, anybody that has John in their name, so it pulls up several different profiles. I don't think I've ever clicked on John Bogan, I think is how you pronounce his name. And so we're going to click on, as you see, it gives you the attribute information there. But if I click on view profile, then John Bogan's information pulls up. And he said there's Bogan's attributes. And then at the same time, it takes me to where John Bogan is in the org chart, which is just a matter of me trying to see who he reports to. Visually there, he reports to Kenneth Thomas, and he has no additional reports. And see, of course, then I can see his status and information. Right now, there is no built-in analytics. That is part of what they're asking for in the next phase. And so we have additional tool called the day wheel, where we can collect daily information on each employee. And then that will allow us to actually create a score for each employee every single day. And then only key personnel at this point are going to be using the profile. So it is going to be a pretty robust system. So that's the graphical interface part of it. And I want to show you here, obviously, the dashboard here on the side. This is the employees chart, the dynamic chart that you see here. So we call this our operations, dynamic operation software, or dynamic org chart software. So you can look and see how that is featured. And then here, you can come in here, and if you want to see all this information in a gridded view, you can go to all employees, and you're going to see it kind of switch over here in just a second. Okay, it's going to populate here for all 120 plus employees. Okay, there we go. And so then at this point, I can go in and I select all employees. And so you didn't see the change, but it's there. It allows me to see all employees. Let's say I come through and I just randomly pick someone. I don't think I've ever picked Miss Horton. And so obviously the beginning information goes across here, but once you go into the actual tables, then you can see the background information on Mrs. Horton into a gridded format. And see, of course, we can produce this into a CSV file. In the next phase, we're going to work on how to import and export this out into possibly Power BI and some other analytic tools. And that way they can kind of build a profile of every employee again on every single day. And then we got an additional tool called the day wheel that we can incorporate into this, and I'll show that briefly. And so obviously, you know, here we can go and we can organize it by departments or designations as far as their job titles and other components. So this is the organizational chart software for the county, and then the dynamic organizational chart. And I'm going to show you here real quickly the day wheel. And so from here, each employee in the next couple of phases, we're going to be looking to incorporate the day wheel software. It's going to take a second here to load. And so the day wheel captures all activities, transactions, events, projects. Just it's a task tracker and time management system called the day wheel. Analyze today to improve tomorrow. And so this is my system. I'm already logged in, so I'm going to show you here. And so the day wheel is set up as a 24-hour clock. That's 12 a.m. in the morning, 6 a.m. in 6 a.m., 12 p.m. in the afternoon. So this is the morning and part of your day, including from midnight to the afternoon. And then this is the p.m. portion of your day from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. to 11:59 that evening. So you fill in this event title and do the start and stop time. And then what's going to happen is the clock is slowly going to populate. And so I'll show you a finished one here. And see, so this is actually everything that happened on that particular day. So this is 12 a.m., 6 a.m., 12 p.m., 6 p.m., 11:59. So all throughout the day, and each one of these slices are very dynamic. So I can put in here, you know, what took place. And so you can put additional background information behind it. But you also can come here and you can click on additional components that look at different aspects of the day. And so then you can click in my weekend review. Okay, and it's going to populate here, and it's going to show those day wheels for the entire week. Obviously, these two have not been updated yet, but you can go back and you can actually see all the activities that happened during that week. So this is, again, these tools are going to be incorporated together. There's a couple of more tools in the suite. There's an additional career guidance program that we call the Life Quest, or it can be the Career Quest. It can also be part of project management, so that can be incorporated into the system as well. I won't take you through all of that, but this is a career mapping system and a business mapping system. And so within this, there's ways to map out every component of the business is accounted for, and all these systems kind of integrate and work together. And then from here, once you're into this system, it's at my-lifequest.com. And then from here, you can kind of look at all the aspects of strategic planning for the entire year. You can look at, there's a structural piece for employees as far as all the females, males, and so on that's in your organization, and then their name, status, kind of information, what's the breakout, and then here their overall total status. So there's some very unique components that are in this system just by itself, and so there's the entire system is intended to make sure that we cover all the operations of a particular organization. This is the weekly block schedule, 12 a.m. to 6 a.m., 6 a.m. to 12 p.m., 12 to 6 p.m. So this reflects a flat version of the day wheel that we mentioned as well. So those components are in there. And then, of course, the system is intended to be private label, customized. And so we work through each one of those features for everyone. So back to the design. And so this is our operations or organizational and dynamic org chart software and our employee productivity and as well as career management system. So please take care. If you have any questions or comment, you can contact me, Michael Fleming, at area code 678-508-6283 is the best way to reach me, or you can email me at michaelafleming@hotmail.com. Hope all is well. Take care.